Hey, Michael here, again. I want to pick up my conversation, something that Mike mentioned about watching shows, because it's kind of amusing, because I rarely watch shows, be it anime, live action, Western animation, movies in general, mainly because when I watch stuff, my biggest problem is that I have to sit down and I have to passively participate. My biggest problem is that I have to watch and I do nothing but consume. I get immensely bored when doing that unless whatever I'm watching or basically it's just when I watch stuff. If what I'm watching isn't very gripping, I get very distracted very easily. And another thing is that I have this problem, you could say, when the movie is either sad, awkward, or something painful is happening on screen, because I guess you could say I'm very squeamish, basically. I am very good at relating to what the characters are feeling on screen, so if an awkward moment is happening on screen, as it often happens in, let's say, your standard romantic comedy movie, then it's immensely awkward for me. I just have to pause it or look away or just get it out of my system before I can continue watching. And if the scene is sad, then I just get immensely sad myself. It's my borderline depression, and I have to pause, get it out of my system, go to Tumblr, whatever, find some funny gifs, laugh at that, and then calm myself down and then move on. And as for violent scenes, well, I went to the cinema with all of the guys this summer. We saw The Dark Knight Rises. There's the fight between Batman and Bane. I'm not going to spoil anything for those who haven't watched it, but there's one particular scene that is pretty gruesome, I should say, and I looked away. There were a few other scenes during the movie that were less violent, I guess you could say. They weren't as graphic with the sound effects or the visuals on the screen, but I still had to look away because it's just I'm a wisp, what can I say? So my biggest problems are that I'm not participating, and I'm a bit too good at relating with the characters. What I do like, however, is if I can read it, because then I get to participate by flipping the pages, or if it's a book that I'm reading, I get to imagine what everyone looks like, or I get to imagine what the setting looks like, or whatever. And if it's a game, kind of funny about games, the reason I became a gamer is because when I was younger, I had crap motor skills. My hand-eye coordination was terrible. My ability to use my hands for stuff was bloody bad. It was terrible. There's no way to make this sound nicer. I was just bad at using my hands as tools. So the doctor's recommendation was that we bought a PlayStation and bought a few platformers for me. So I got to use my hands, and games were very good at keeping a kid's attention, because attention deficit is shiny. So I was plopped down in front of the TV. I got a controller in my hand, and I got to play Hercules for the PlayStation 1, which was a bloody hard game. It took me more than a year to beat, I think, if I recall correctly. So I've always had this relationship with games that I need to take the game up to the highest difficulty, because first of all, it gives me a nostalgic feeling from when I was younger, and games were impossible to beat because of my hand-eye coordination and motor skills, which were bad. And because I have to, it's not that I have to anymore, but I feel like it may help or may not help if I have to make sure that my reflexes are up to par with the difficulty of a game. And when I'm playing and I'm using the controls, I get to participate. I'm a constant participant. I'm not just sitting and passively consuming. If it's a game or whatever, there's some moral choices or whatever, I get to participate in the story too, which is always a plus. So yeah, there are a few animes and a few movies. I've watched quite a few at this point, but it's very hard to persuade me into sitting down and watching a movie. Trust me, everyone here can attest to that. If I can get it to work, because my editing program isn't very fond of QuickTime movie files, but if I can get it to work somehow, I'm gonna put in a small clip of our dog and how depressed it gets when our mom isn't home, because there are 2 people in the house out of 4 of us, which that it has grown really attached to, me and my mom. And whenever my mom leaves, it basically goes down to my room to go to my bed to sulk until she gets back. And that sulking process is very amusing at times, because it wants to lie properly, so it's very comfortable for it when it has to sulk. So if we can get it to work, that's what's gonna happen in the last 40 seconds of this video. So I guess I'll see Michelle tomorrow. I'm looking forward to your video.